Welcome to this week's episode of Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Anne. We'll keep it here on GLWS as we bring you all the action happening around Rodeo Nebraska. Spotlight a well-accomplished barrel racer, a Rodeo Nebraska blast from the past, and connect with Miss Rodeo Nebraska for this weekend's upcoming clinic. While athletes from the Good Life State were on the rodeo road this past week, it's now time to catch up with Pro Rodeo announcer Jared Slagle as he gives us the Pro Rodeo update.
Welcome to this week's edition of Good Life Western Sports Pro Rodeo Updates, brought to you by our friends at RodeoTax.com and Fenolio Boot Company. In the saddle bronc riding, Zeke Thurston, the 2016 champ of the world and son of former Hyannis, Nebraska saddle bronc rider and NFR qualifier skeeter, places 5th at the Parade del Sol in Scottsdale, Arizona. Zeke is 8th in the PRCA World Standings in the saddle bronc riding with over $23,000 won so far this year. In the tie-down roping, Tanner Steck of Bassett places 5th at the North Dakota Winter Show in Valley City, North Dakota. Tanner is currently the number 9 tie-down roper in the Badlands Circuit. Pam Hollenbeck of Long Pine places in the North Dakota Winter Show in Valley City, North Dakota. Pam is in the top 20 in the WPRA Pro Rodeo Badlands Circuit standings. And in the steer roping, Travis Sheets from Hyannis places in the second round of the M.M. Fisher Jr. Memorial Steer Roping in Andrews, Texas. The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is the world's largest livestock show and richest regular season rodeo. Although not a PRCA sanctioned event, there are lots and lots of American dollars up for grabs. Bareback rider Stephen Dent of Mullen is a former champ of Rodeo Houston. In 2008, he left there with over $50,000 in the buckle and saddle to prove it. This year, Stephen is on track to repeat the feat. He's placing 1st in the Super Series number 1 at Rodeo Houston, 4th in round 1, 1st in round 2, and 2nd in round 3. He moves on to the semifinals number 2, which will be March 15th. The top 4 from each semifinals advance to the championship, where 10 contestants at each event compete in a progressive round to find out who will be the $50,000 winner of Rodeo Houston. Also in the bareback riding, Orrin Larson of Gering, so far not placing in 2 rounds of Super Series number 5. He has 1 more round to go. In the saddle bronc riding, Zeke Thurston, another former Rodeo Houston champ, is placing 3rd in Super Series number 2, with a 4th place finish in round number 1 and a 1st place finish in round number 2 and 3rd in round 3. Zeke moves on to the semifinals number 2, March 15th. Court Shearer from Ellesmere is currently leading Super Series number 5 with 1 more round to go in his bracket in the saddle bronc riding. So far, he was 1st in round number 1 and 2nd in round number 2. Houston has been good to Court in the past, winning both the Super Shootout and the Super Series at the Texas event. 9-time Linderman Award winner Kyle Whitaker from Chambers places in both the 1st round and 3rd round in the Super Series number 2 of Rodeo Houston in the steer wrestling, but he is unable to advance to the semifinals. Tie-down roper Riley Pruitt of Gering advances to the semifinals after placing 3rd in Super Series 2, which includes a 1st place 8.2 second run in round number 3. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this week's Good Life Western Sports Pro Rodeo Updates. On behalf of our friends at RodeoTax.com and Fenolio Boot Company, my name is Jared Slagle, your Pro Rodeo voice. Until next week, you stay classy, Nebraska.
Thank you, Jared. When we return, we'll meet with well-accomplished barrel racer who calls Valentine, Nebraska home. She's competed in many different arenas, all happening right here when we return.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Anne. Well, this cowgirl has taught in a 2-room schoolhouse and has inspired several students on an academic level. The 3-time NFR qualifier and the 1996 WPRA Rookie of the Year continues to inspire athletes both in and out of the arena. Meet Athlete Spotlight, Trula Churchill.
I'm from Valentine, Nebraska now. Originally was from Oklahoma, but married a good Sand Hills cowboy and ended up here in God's country, they say. Some days I question that with the weather, but I actually started competing when I was 4 or 5 years old at the junior rodeos in Oklahoma. It was something that I was kind of born into. My grandpa was one of the original founders of the PRCA back in the 30s, and so I didn't know anything else that, other than being a school teacher and riding horses. That was all it was ever about. My main man is Worm. His registered name is Estricurita, and we raised him. His mom was a bulldogging horse that went to the NFR with Trav Cadwell in 2000, and she was had some injuries and was done with her bulldogging career and was hanging around the house. And Lynn says, hey, maybe we should breed her, and so the rest they say is history. I have accomplished so much with him. He's made all my dreams come true, basically. Or maybe I should credit the old gray mare for that, since she's made dreams come true for all of us for a long time. To me, is the biggest thing is knowing your horse and knowing what cues you need to give to him in the arena so that you can be a team. It is a team event, although I think probably more of it's on the horse than on me most days. But I do have to have I do have to give him the right cues, and I do have to take care of him and make sure if there's something wrong, I have to make sure it's addressed. If he's hurt, I'm not going to compete on him. So I have to know that, and I have to know, he gives me signs when something's not right, and some days it's just something minor, but you have to be in tune with your horse and spend the time and put the hours in. There's no shortcuts. My other horse I have with me is, his name is Rockstar. His registered name is Guy's Cash Perks, and I've had him for about 2 years. And he's kind of Worm's slave. He gets to take up the slack on the places Worm doesn't run. There are so many great places that I have been to over the years. Of course, Rodeo Houston in the NRG Stadium there with 70,000 people packed in there. There's not quite anything quite like that because of the atmosphere in that place. And of course, Thomas and Mack, how can you not count that as a favorite, because that's something that very few people get to experience. And there are no words to describe that arena. Getting to Thomas and Mack, getting to the finals was such a huge relief that you finally accomplished your goals. And the adrenaline rush that you get every night riding down that arena is, it's unbelievable, it's something that you work so hard for some people their whole lives, and they don't make it. And, just to be able to experience that, you can't describe it. There's no way. But it is, I wouldn't trade it. I'm ready to go back. My plans got changed about 10 days ago. I got a call from the Procom and said, hey, we have an open spot for the Ram Circuit Finals in Florida. Would you want to fill it? I'm like, oh yeah. So instead of heading for California, I'm actually headed to Florida first for the Ram Circuit Finals. But I do rodeo in California in the spring, and because I spend quite a bit of time out there, it's easier for me to get my count in for the circuit final. So I designate California for my circuit. Most all of my off time is still spent with my horses. I have some young ones that I'm messing with at home a little bit, and of course we help Lynn's mom and dad on the cattle ranch there, and so right now it's been pretty busy with calving season and trying to help with that and keep my horses rode and get ready to take off. And I'm a big reader. I read a lot of stuff, and now with the books on tape, I can listen to those when I drive. Nobody likes a 9-to-5 job. And to me, because it is a passion for me, it is what I've been the horse crazy kid since I stepped foot on this earth. and to me, it's self-motivation just because I enjoy it, and there's always saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and that's true.
Trula is blazing trails on her blue roan gelding, a streakerita, or worm as she refers to her. Trula is also hosting a barrel racing clinic tomorrow at Egg Park in Columbus. All the clinic info can be found in the show description. Stay tuned to Good Life Western Sports for the break of the new upcoming event details.
Rocket Sea Animal Chiropractic is dedicated to helping improve your horse's overall health performance. Dr. Crabtree incorporates chiropractic, low-level laser therapy, myofascial, and nutritional therapy to accelerate your horse's ability to heal and get back in the ring. Rocket Sea is mobile and travels the state to bring your horse the excellent care they deserve. Call Rocket Sea Animal Chiropractic today at 402-276-1348. 8 words to remember. We can work on you and the horse you rode in on.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Anne. And the madness of the spring camps continue. And like I mentioned, Trula Churchill will be hosting the barrel racing clinic at Egg Park in Columbus this Friday, March 16th. For scholarship opportunities, visit daretobeacowboy.com for availability there. This past week, we also caught up with Kristin Kohmetscher to talk a little bit about this upcoming weekend's Rodeo Queen Clinic.
So I think this would be a great opportunity, especially this year, for any girl who's kind of considering pageantry on any level. Of course, a lot of our clinicians are going to be more focused towards rodeo, but for one of the first times in a few years, we are actually having girls from the beauty pageant level, the girls that have competed at the Miss Nebraska pageant and the Miss America, not in with rodeo. So there'll be a lot of things for girls to develop on. I encourage anybody who may think will be interviewing for any position in the future, jobs, professional school, things like that. We work on interview skills. We work on confidence. There'll be tons of information there. It's just a full day of learning, and you don't realize you're doing it because you're having so much fun. But we are really, really excited for our event coming up this Saturday. There's going to be wonderful clinicians, past Miss Rodeo Americas, KC Creations with Kelly and Becky Carr will be there. They're one of the top photographers across the country. They've photographed everyone from Miss Rodeo America to Tuff Cooper and even myself. So there's a lot of opportunity here coming up on Saturday. There was an early bird registration price. We are still accepting registrations, though. The price has bumped up just a little bit because we'll be putting together materials for those who register late. But if you're still interested, check out our Facebook page, the Miss Rodeo Nebraska Association. There's an event on there, or look for me and message me if it's something you'd love to get into. Shoot us a message as soon as possible, and we can definitely add you to the day.
Central Nebraska Cowboy Church will be hosting their annual roping and racing clinic on March 24th and 25th at the Miller Arena in Broken Bow. Along with this event, the clinic will have several times of devotions along with a regular Sunday morning church service there. The 29th Annual Spring Vacation Steer Wrestling School will be held March 29th through the 31st at the Keith County Fairgrounds in Ogallala. Instructors include PRCA circuit finalist Paul Cleveland, as well as NFR contestants as Todd Soon, Garrett Noakes, Drew Melvin, and Sean Mulligan. Specific details around all the upcoming schools can be found in the description. Stay tuned after the break for more Good Life Western Sports.
Are you cool to flex fuel? 1 in 7 Nebraskans is driving a flex fuel vehicle, and many don't even realize it. With a flex fuel vehicle, you can fill up with any blend of American ethanol and gasoline, from E10 to E15, from E30 to E85, at any time in any amount. Look for an insignia on your trunk or tailgate. You might have a yellow gas cap, or check your owner's manual. If you're cool to flex fuel, then look for a flex fuel pump in your neighborhood. Flex fuel blends with American ethanol.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Anne. Well, this week's blast from the past comes from Nebraska's big rodeo around 1973 when Chris Ledoux made a ride at the largest arena. Chris qualified for the National Finals Rodeo 4 times and won the World Bareback Riding in 1976. Chris quoted, "I won a saddle and a buckle, and I got a hat and a pair of boots and a little bit of money. The money's gone, the boots are worn out, and the hat's gone. Someone took a big chunk out of it at the Fort Worth the next winter. I still have the saddle and the buckle." On Monday, Good Life Western Sports kicked off the Ultimate Giveaway in celebration of our 1-year anniversary on April 5th. This is a neat giveaway as we incorporate several of our sponsors, including Fenolio Boot Company, American Hat Company, Wrangler, Diamond Dollar Leather and Saddlery, Rank 1, and Pearl Pistols. We're so excited to have them, and if you haven't already, go and like the Good Life Western Sports Facebook page, and be sure to share it with your friends, and be sure to check out the daily challenges to qualify you for the Ultimate Giveaway Package on April 5th. Thanks again for joining me on this week's episode of Good Life Western Sports, and be sure to tune in next week as we highlight rodeo across Nebraska. For Good Life Western Sports, I'm Bobbie Lee Anne.